Hi, I'm Jessica Hyde, and welcome to the SUTV News Break for Thursday, October 22nd, 2009. Today on the webcast, we have highlights from the SUTV mayoral candidate debate. Joe Burgess and Steve Wood answered questions submitted by online viewers and SUU students.
A number of years ago, when I was first elected to the City Council, I realized right away that the majority of the things that were discussed and voted upon were things that I've done in my career throughout my whole life, and that is dealing with issues like land use issues, dealing with construction issues, contracts, dealing with employees, dealing with infrastructure. I was in the plumbing and heating business for that period of time, so it didn't take me long to realize that I have the experience to be Cedar City's next mayor.
My background is I was born in Cedar City, I was raised in Cedar City, I was educated in Cedar City. I actually went to SU when it was CSU at the time. I was in the honors program, I was on the track teams, I was president of my fraternity. I went on to school to obtain degrees in psychology, accounting, and MBA, where I worked as the teaching assistant for the head of the MBA department at the University of Utah in the money and banking. So I think my background is really strong as far as education. I also have 14 years on City Council. I've been through the budget process 13 times. I have 10 years on the Planning Commission, which I think gives me an unmatched experience both on the City Council and in land use.
Cedar City has their own arts. We have the Shakespeare, we have the Heritage Center that we have events there, and the city has started a bunch of festivals that are a real benefit to the community, and I just like to say that we need to work together to continue to have all of those things go forward.
I think that we've been really prudent to see that we're within the budget. Now, I would suspect that we're going to have those same kind of budget challenges in the future, and I think it's important that we watch it really closely. I think if we can do anything, it's to ask for early accountability on where we are so that we monitor it a little bit more closely. If I were to be mayor, I would suggest that what I would be really aggressive about would be that early accountability before we ever get any kind of deficit or real problem, so that we deal with it before that.
One of the things that I think is very important is that when we have economic times like today, we don't shortchange our infrastructure. You know, our infrastructure is one of our important things that we have as a responsibility for the city, and that is to make sure that we don't delay maintenance on those items, so that when things do turn around, or even if they don't turn around, that we have major problems. We need to do that. So Cedar City, I think, has done that. We need to make sure that if we cut things, we do not cut money out of the infrastructure budget.
Times that we've, the old hospital really needs to be looked at carefully because it's an eyesore in the neighborhood. It's a nuisance and a disaster. I can tell you that we've talked about every way possible to get that either sold or actually torn down. The problem we have is an asbestos problem in that building, and we've even gone as far as to say that we would bond to do that. I think under the current economic problems we have, that probably won't happen, but I can tell you right now that there are entities that are looking at that hospital, and I would just be overjoyed if somebody would buy that and renovate that building.
That's all we have today. Make sure to check out SUUnews.com tomorrow for another news break, and Tuesday for debates between City Council candidates Brian Tavoyan, Nina Barnes, Jolene Goff, and Ron Adams. For SUTV News, I'm Jessica Hyde.